Dear students, in this section we are going to discuss the concept of magnetic field due to the long current carrying wire. We know the formula for the magnetic field due to the straight current carrying wire. You can observe this is a straight wire of length L carrying current I. And here we are interested to calculate the magnetic field at point P, which is at a distance capital R. This dotted line is called the baseline, right? You can observe here this dotted line is the perpendicular line dropped from the point P to the wire. This is having length capital R. These are angle theta 1 and theta 2 are the angle made with the baseline to the line joining the ends. You can observe here this lower end is making angle theta 1 with this baseline and upper end is making angle theta 2 with the baseline. So we can call this theta 1 and theta 2 as a angular limit of this wire, and we have the expression for the magnetic field B equal to mu naught I divided by 4 pi r and sin theta 1 plus sin theta 2. Okay, and suppose if we have the infinite wire, for infinite wire, this line will meet at this point, that the upper point at infinity. That means this angle theta 2 will be equal to pi by 2, and similarly the lower angle theta 1 will be again pi by 2. That means at point P, theta 1 and theta 2 both will be pi by 2. You can observe here in this diagram. Now we can substitute the value of theta 1 and theta 2 in this expression. So we can write mu naught I divided by 4 pi r sin pi by 2 plus sin pi by 2. This value is 1, this is again 1. So 1 plus 1, this will be equal to 2. So this expression will reduce to mu naught divided by 4 pi 2I divided by r. We can further simplify, we can write mu naught I divided by 2 pi r, right? And we know few important points. Suppose point under consideration where we are interested to calculate the magnetic field is lying in the direction of the current. Suppose this is a wire and we are interested to calculate the magnetic field on this line at this point. The magnetic field at this point will be 0, and similarly magnetic field at this point will also be 0, right? And if we are interested to calculate the magnetic field on a plane which is perpendicular to the current carrying wire, suppose at this point we are interested to calculate the magnetic field. The magnetic field lines are the concentric circle in this case, like this, and direction of the magnetic field line is calculated or find out by the right thumb rule. That means if we extend our right hand finger in the direction of the current, the curling of the fingers will represent the direction of the magnetic field lines. So magnetic field lines here will be concentric circles. Okay, and for finding the direction of the magnetic field vector, what we do? We draw the tangent. For drawing tangent, what we do? We join this point with the wire. This will be the radius of this circle. Okay, and we draw the tangent in the direction of the magnetic field lines. So this will be the direction of the magnetic field. Now we are going to take few selected illustrations. Through that selected illustration, we will discuss the same concept. So let us take illustration number 1. In this illustration, we are given two straight, infinitely long and thin parallel wires are spaced 0.1 meter apart and carry the current of 10 ampere each. Okay, find the magnetic field at a point distance 0.1 meter from both wire. In two cases, vane current in same direction and opposite direction. Okay, in both cases we need to find the magnetic field at this point. Now let us move to analysis part of this question. So let us make the rough diagram of this situation, and first we are going to consider the same direction. So let us make the diagram. This is the wire number 1 and wire number 2. Wire number 1 is called wire A and wire number 2 is called wire B. Both carrying the current in the same direction. We are assuming current is perpendicular to the plane of the screen and toward you, that is away from the screen, right? And separation between these 2 points is 0.1 meter. And point under consideration which is equal distance from these two wires would be somewhere here or somewhere here also. So let us consider one situation. Let us consider this point is here. That means the distance of this point from this wire and this wire is same, and this is equal to 0.1 meter, right here. If we join, this will be the equilateral triangle. That means all angles of the triangle will be 60 degree, right? The location of this point from this wire, the distance of this point from this wire is equal to the distance of this point from this wire also, and these are the infinite wire. That means the magnitude of the magnetic field because of the wire number 1 and wire number 2 will be equal at this position. Direction will be different, but the magnitude will be equal. So here we can write B1 is equal to B2 equal to say B, right? Now let us find the direction of the magnetic field at point P, and we know magnetic field lines will be the circular passing through point P and center at A, and from the right palm rule or right thumb rule we can find the direction sense of the magnetic field. That means if we stretch the right hand finger in the sense of the current, curling of the finger will give the direction of the magnetic field. So here we can say the magnetic field line passing through point P will be anti-clockwise direction, right? This circle. If we join this point from A like this and draw the perpendicular that will be tangent at this point, that will represent the direction of the magnetic field at point P due to wire 1. This is B1. Similarly, let us find the magnetic field direction at point P because of this wire 2. The same process will be applied. That means right thumb rule will be applicable here also. The direction of the current is toward you, so thumb direction is toward you, and curling of the finger here is again in the anti-clockwise sense. So magnetic field line passing through point P will be again anti-clockwise sense. And for the direction of the magnetic field, we need to join this point by this position of the wire, right? And tangent at this position, that is a perpendicular to this dotted line, will give the direction of the magnetic field due to the wire 1. So this is the B2, right? Because of the symmetry, we can say the direction of the net magnetic field will be at the bisector angle, because B1 is equal to B2. So this is the direction of the magnetic field, that is the net magnetic field, right? And here we know this angle is 60 degree. So here we can say this line, dotted line, is making angle theta equal to 60 degree with the horizontal. That means the line perpendicular to this dotted line will make angle 60 degree with the vertical. So this will be 60. That means this angle is 30 degree. Okay. So this will also be 30 degree. So we know the formula for the magnetic field due to the infinite wire. Due to this wire or this wire, we know the magnitude will be the same. So formula is mu naught I divided by 2 pi d. D is the distance of this point from this wire or this wire, right? So this is the formula for the magnetic field from either of the wire, right? We can now substitute the numerical value. We know this is equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 7, because mu naught divided by 4 pi is equal to 10 to the power minus 7. So mu naught divided by 2 pi should be equal to 10 to the power minus 7 multiplied by 2, and current is 10 ampere and separation is 0.1 meter, right? Because separation here given 0.1 meter. So if we substitute this value, this is equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 5 Tesla, and now we can find the resultant magnetic field. This is equal to 2b cos 30, and direction of course is opposite to the positive x direction. So we have substituted, we have multiplied this magnitude with the minus I cap. So now here we can substitute this value b, and cos 30 is equal to root 3 divided by 2. So this is the resultant magnetic field at point P, and we can observe this magnetic field is in the direction parallel to the line joining two wires. Okay. So we can say the resultant magnetic field is parallel to the line joining two wires. If we have taken this current as cross and cross, the direction of the magnetic field should be in the rightward direction, the positive x direction, and magnitude should be same. Okay. So this is the case when current in the both wire in the same direction. Now let us consider the case when current in this wire and this wire both in the opposite direction. let us consider this wire carrying current in the same sense, that is perpendicular to the plane of the screen and toward you, and let us consider this wire is having current cross, that is away from you. So let us make the diagram. This is a dot current, this is the cross current. Okay. Point under consideration is same, P, that is the equal distance from this and this. So on this basis we can say B1 is equal to B2 equal to B, right? B is the magnetic field having the magnitude B1 or B2. And for finding the direction, same process is applicable. That means we can use the right thumb rule. That means the magnetic field lines due to this will be in the anti-clockwise sense, like this. Okay. And for finding the direction of the magnetic field, we need to draw the tangent. For exact drawing tangent, we need to join this point with the wire. This is the radial line, and perpendicular to this radial line will give the direction of the magnetic field, B1 vector. Okay. Now come to this point, that is the magnetic field due to this. Again, right hand rule or right thumb rule, you can say the sense of the current is into the plane. So thumb direction is into the plane. Curling of the finger, you can observe, will be in the clockwise sense. So the magnetic field line will be a clockwise sense here, like this. Okay. And now we can draw the tangent, join this point to this wire, this is the radial line, and now tangent will be in the upward direction. This is B2. Magnitude wise both will be the same, and because of the symmetry we can say the net magnetic field will be at the bisector angle, right, in the upward direction. So this is the direction of the B net. Okay. So this angle we know 60 degree, and this angle should also be 60 degree because this line, dotted line, that is the radial line making angle 60 with the horizontal line. That means any line which is perpendicular to this radial line, that is the tangential line, will make angle 60 degree with the vertical. So this angle is 60 degree, and we know the value of B1 is equal to B2. It is the magnetic field due to the infinite wire, that is mu naught I divided by 2 pi d, right? So let us write this magnetic field mu naught I divided by 2 pi d. Okay. Now net magnetic field, this one, this is equal to 2B1 cos 60, right? And before calculating 2B1 cos 60, let us calculate the magnetic field B1 B2. So mu naught divided by 2 pi, as we discussed, this is equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 7, and I equal to 10, this is equal to 0.1. So this value is 2 into 10 to the power minus 5 Tesla. Now let us return to calculating this value. So resultant magnetic field B net equal to 2B1 cos 60, right? And direction of course in the y direction, positive y direction. That's why we have substituted the direction for direction j cap, right? Positive value. So now we can substitute the value B, and cos 60 is equal to 1 by 2. So this is the magnetic field, right? We can observe here the magnetic field direction, because of this configuration of the current, is perpendicular to the line joining the wires. Okay. So these are the magnetic field direction because of current carrying wire having the same sense of flowing current and opposite sense of flowing current. Now let us move to next illustration. In this illustration, we are given two long wires carries a constant current capital I along the same direction. The wires are separated by a distance 2L. Calculate the maximum magnitude of the magnetic induction in the symmetry plane of this system located between the wires. In the next part of the question, we need to calculate the maximum force experienced by unit length of the third wire carrying the same current along the same direction, and if this wire, third wire, is parallel to and in the symmetry plane of the other two wires. So let us move to the first part where we need to calculate the maximum magnitude of the magnetic induction, that is the maximum magnitude of the magnetic field in the symmetry plane between the wires. So let us make the diagram of this situation. Suppose current carrying wire carry current perpendicular to the plane of the screen and toward you, that is away from the screen. that means dot and dot. Say this wire 1, wire 2, this is placed at position A, this is placed at position B. Okay, and symmetrical plane will pass through the middle point of these two wires. So the separation between these two wires is 2L. That means the symmetrical plane will pass through distance L and L from any of the wire. So this is the position of the symmetrical plane. Suppose at a distance y from this point, right? You can follow the tip of my pen. At a distance y from this point, say point P, at this point the magnetic field is maximum. Okay, you can observe here the distance of this point P under consideration is equal from wire 1 and wire 2. That means we have the wire 1 and wire 2 both has infinite wire carrying the same current. That means the magnitude of the magnetic field generated by wire 1 at point P and magnetic field generated by wire 2 at point P should be equal. So here we can say B1 is equal to B2, say capital B. B is the magnetic field from either of the wire. Okay. Now we can find the direction of the magnetic field at point P because of wire 1. And here we use right hand rule. That is, if we stretch the thumb of the right hand in the sense of the current, curling of the finger gives the direction of the magnetic field lines. So magnetic field line will be the circular and passing through point P, it will be in the anti-clockwise sense like this. Okay. And for finding the exact direction of the magnetic field at point P because of this wire, let us join point P from the location of this wire. This is the radial line. So the tangent should be in this direction. So this is a B1 vector. Similarly, for finding the direction of the magnetic field because of this wire 2, we can draw the magnetic field line because of this wire. Again, we use the right hand rule and same type of the magnetic field, that is the circular in the anti-clockwise sense will be here. So tangent will be perpendicular to this line in this direction. This is B2. Let this distance is R. This is again R because this point is located at the symmetrical plane. So this is R. This will be also R. Now we can find the magnetic field magnitude B1 and B2. We know these two are equal. So by the symmetry we can say the magnetic field, net magnetic field will be at the bisector angle, right? And we know this magnitude of the magnetic field mu naught I divided by 2 pi r because both wires are infinite. R is the distance from any of the wire to the point under consideration, right? And here we can write mu naught I divided by 2 pi and small r, that is this distance equal to, we can use the Pythagoras, this distance is L. So small r equal to under root L square plus R square, right? This is the direction of the net magnetic field, that is the bisector angle. Okay. Now consider this angle is theta. So we can say this angle should also be theta because this dotted line is making angle theta with the horizontal. That means any line which is perpendicular to this dotted line will make angle theta with the vertical. That means this angle will be 90 minus theta. Now we can write the expression for the net magnetic field, that is equal to 2b1 cos 90 minus theta equal to sin theta, right? And direction of course is in minus x direction, that's why minus I cap. Now we can write the expression for the resultant magnetic field. 2 and value of the b is this one, mu naught I divided by 2 pi under root L square plus R square, and sin theta we can find from this triangle because this is small r. So sin theta is equal to y divided by small r, and small r equal to L square plus R square, L square plus y square under root. So this is the value of the sin theta. We are calculating the magnitude because in question we are asked to find the maximum magnitude. So now we can simplify. This is equal to mu naught I y divided by pi L square plus y square, right? Now for finding the maximum magnitude of the magnetic field, we need to use the technique of the maximum minima. Here we can observe y is variable. So let us differentiate this relation with respect to y and keep it equal to 0, because for maximum and minima db divided by dy equal to 0. So let us write this relation. This is equal to, so let us differentiate this using the formula, the differentiation, right? This should be equal to 0 for the maximum minima. So differentiation will give this term. We can simplify, right? We can observe here this is 2y square is y square. Multiplication of this term with the 0 will be the 0. That means here we can write this L square equal to y square, that is y square equal to L or y equal to L, right? So we can say at a distance L from this middle point, the magnetic field will be maximum. Now we can substitute the value of y in this expression to get the maximum magnitude of the magnetic field. So maximum magnitude of the magnetic field should be this one, mu naught I L divided by pi L square plus L square. In place of y we have substituted L. So this is the mu naught I divided by 2 pi L is the magnetic field, that is the maximum magnitude of the magnetic field because of these two wires. Now let us move to the second part of the question. In second part of the question, we need to calculate the maximum force experienced by the unit length of the third wire carrying the same current along the same direction, right? And wire is parallel and in the symmetry plane of the two wires. So let us write the relationship, right? These are the two wires and symmetry plane here at a distance L, we have the maximum magnitude of the magnetic field and we have this relation. The maximum magnitude of the magnetic field is equal to mu naught I divided by 2 pi L. Okay. Third wire is to be placed at this position, which is parallel to these two wires in the symmetrical plane. So we have placed third wire. Now let us consider L length of the wire. So we have the formula for the force on the current carrying wire placed in the magnetic field. Formula is F equal to IBL or ILB, right? L is the length of the wire, I is the current in the wire where we need to calculate the force, and B is the external magnetic field. And here external magnetic field is generated because of these two wires. And third wire is this one for which we are considering L length of the wire. Okay. So now we can write the force acting on this should be equal to B, that's the magnetic field, I is the current in this wire multiplied by L. And for the maximum force, this magnetic field should be maximum. So let us find the maximum force experienced by L length of the wire. This is B maximum IL in Newton, right? We can rearrange this because we need to calculate the force experienced by unit length. So we need to divide this force with the length of the wire. That is maximum force experienced by unit length, that is equal to F by L equal to B max multiplied by I. B max value we have substituted the value. So force per unit length of the wire is equal to mu naught I square divided by 2 pi L Newton per meter. Okay. And for finding the direction, we use the Fleming left hand rule or right palm rule, right? So if you use the Fleming left hand or right palm rule, the direction of the magnetic force should be in the lower direction, downward direction. Okay. So now we can say according to the Fleming left hand rule, the force vector lies in the symmetrical plane and directed toward the plane of the wire, right? This plane of the wire. Now let us move to next illustration. In this illustration, we have two long parallel wires carrying current 2.5 ampere and x ampere in the same direction, directed into the plane of the paper, are held at P and Q respectively, such that they are perpendicular to the plane of the paper, right? That means at point P, we have placed 2.5 ampere wire and at Q, the wire of unknown current X, okay? But direction of the current is same, that is into the plane of the paper, that is away from the screen, that is away from you, right? The point P and Q are located at a distance 5 meter and 2 meter respectively from collinear point R. R is certain point from which the distance of point P is 5 meter and distance of point Q is 2 meter, okay? The first part of the question A, an electron moving with velocity 4 into 10 to the power 5 meter per second along positive x direction experience a force of magnitude 3.2 into 10 to the power minus 20 Newton at point R, then find the value of X, that is the unknown current. In the second part of the question, we are asked to find all the position at which the third long wire, parallel wire, carrying a current of magnitude 2.5 ampere may be placed so that magnetic induction at R is 0. Okay, so let us move to part first. We will analyze part first of the question. So let us place the question, and first of all, let us make the rough diagram of this situation, right? Approximate diagram of this situation. So this is the line on which we are going to place the wire at P and Q. So this is point P, right? Current is away from you, that's why cross. And point Q, suppose it is placed at here, it is again having current direction same as point P, that is away from you. Okay, and R, point R, suppose it is placed at here, right? This is position at here. The distance of point P is 5 meter and distance of point Q is 2 meter. Okay, if we want to find the direction of the magnetic field at R because of P, we use the right hand rule, right? Suppose this is the y direction and this is the direction of the magnetic field line, magnetic field passing through R because of point P. We are using the right hand rule, right? You can observe current is cross, thumb in the direction of the current and curling of the finger in the sense of the rotation of the magnetic field. So magnetic field is in clockwise direction, right? Similarly at point R because of Q, again we use the right hand rule. So this is the direction of the magnetic field and direction of the magnetic field is clockwise here. So direction of the magnetic field at R because of Q should be in the downward direction. This is the magnetic field due to Q. That means both the field is in same direction. That means net magnetic field at R because of P and Q will be additive. Okay, and in question we are given the electron is moving with velocity. This is 4 into 10 to the power 5 meter per second along positive x direction. So this is the direction of the motion of the electron. You can observe here the direction of the net magnetic field and direction of the velocity of the electron is perpendicular to each other, right? And if we want to have the force acting on the electron, we use the formula force on the charged particle moving on the magnetic field, that is F equal to Q V cross V. So let us first calculate the net magnetic field, that is the summation of this and this. So let us write resultant magnetic field. You know, magnetic field due to the infinite wire is equal to mu naught I divided by 2 pi R, and here the distance of this point from R is let us say dP, right? Let us write it dP, this distance. So magnetic field direction should be minus j cap. So here we can write mu naught IP, IP is the current in this, divided by 2 pi dP and minus j cap. And magnetic field because of this is equal to mu naught IQ, IQ is the current in this, divided by 2 pi dQ and minus j cap, of course, direction for the direction. Now we can take this as common. Mu naught divided by 2 pi is again common. So we can write like this. Okay. Now we know the magnitude of the current IP is 2.5 ampere and this is 5 meter, this is 2 meter. So we can write net magnetic field BR equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 7, because mu naught divided by 4 pi is 10 to the power minus 7. So this is 2 into 10 to the power minus 7 and this is 2.5, 5 and this is unknown and this is 2. So this is the resultant magnetic field. Now let us move to calculate the force acting on the charged particle. We know force acting on the charged particle can be written in terms of the cross product. Also we can write the expression in terms of the magnitude, that is F equal to QVB sin theta. Here theta is the angle between the magnetic field and velocity vector. So let us write the magnitude of the force, right? This is the resultant magnetic field at point R. So let us write the magnitude of the force experienced by the moving charge. Here it is electron and we are only considering the magnitude, so we are not putting the negative sign with the charge of the electron. So we can use this. We are using the magnitude of this because magnitude of this we know this is QVB sin theta. So we are writing the magnitude. Okay. So here it is given. This is 3.2 because force on the electron is 3.2 into 10 to the power minus 20, right? So let us substitute this value 3.2 into 10 to the power minus 20. Charge on the electron 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, and velocity we are given. Velocity is 4 into 10 to the power 5 meter per second. So let us substitute the value: magnitude of the charge, velocity, magnetic field which we have calculated here, and the other values, right? B is unknown. So let us find the value of B from this relation. Okay, if we calculate, this is equal to 5 into 10 to the power minus 7 Tesla, right? Say this equation number 2. And we have calculated net magnetic field from this information is BR equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 7 in bracket term 2.5 divided by 5 plus IQ divided by 2. So this quantity should be equal to this much. So let us substitute this value. Okay, now we can find the value of IQ, right? This is the IQ value, IQ equal to 4 ampere. That means current in this wire should be equal to 4 ampere. Now let us move to second part of the question. So let us move to problem again. This is the problem, right? We have solved the problem A part. Now in B part we need to find the all positions at which the third long wire carrying current of the magnitude 2.5 ampere may be placed so that the magnetic induction at R is equal to 0. Okay, so let us make the diagram of this situation. This is position of the wire P, this is the position of wire Q, right? This is position R, right? And at position R we know the magnetic field because of these two wires in the downward direction. Okay, so let us write the currents. Okay, this is the resultant magnetic field which we have calculated, that is equal to 5 into 10 to the power minus 7 Tesla. Okay, let us consider if we place the wire in this region. Say this region is region 1, right? Let us call this region as region 2. Now if we place wire in region 1 or region 2, the resultant magnetic field cannot be 0. Why? Because the current in wire Q is greater than the current in the third wire. Current in the third wire is given as 2.5 ampere. So we cannot place the wire in region 1 and region 2 because net magnetic field at this point cannot be 0 because this 4 ampere is greater than the current which to be placed at region 1 and 2. So let us consider this as region 3. Suppose if we place wire at region 3, you know the magnetic field because of these two wires is in downward direction. To making magnetic field 0, the net magnetic field because of this wire to be placed at region 3 should be in the upward direction. So current in this wire should be dot, that is toward you. Okay, opposite sense of these two, that only make the magnetic field at this point equal to 0. Let the position of this wire from R is X and magnetic field of this should be in this sense. That's only the net magnetic field should be at this direction. That can make the magnetic field at this point, this and this can make magnetic field 0. Okay, that means the wire should be placed in region 3 and the current should be outward. Okay, the distance of this wire from R is X, we have assumed, and we know we are given the current in this wire is 2.5 ampere. So let us calculate the magnetic field because of this wire at this position. This is the infinite wire. We have the formula for the calculating the magnetic field due to this infinite wire. This is mu naught divided by 2 pi I divided by X. X is unknown, we need to calculate, and this should be equal to 5 into 10 to the power minus 7 Tesla. So let us write the equation. Okay, from this equation we can find the value of x, because this value mu naught divided by 2 pi is equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 7. So from this relation we can get the value of x equal to 1 meter. Okay, now if we consider this region, say this region is region number 4, we can get the same sense of current, that is the same sense of the magnetic field, that is in upward direction, if we place a wire having current in the cross sense. Cross sense is the current away from you. So let us place the wire having current in this sense. This will make the magnetic field in the upward direction, because the magnetic field line, because of this current, should be this direction, right, in the clockwise direction. So this clockwise direction magnetic field will make the magnetic field at this position in the upward direction. Let this distance is x. So here we can revise the same process. The net magnetic field because of this wire should be equal to 5 into 10 to the power minus 7. So let us consider this distance as x. Again the same process we have done for the region 3. So let us place this wire at a distance x, and this magnetic field should be equal to this one. Now we can calculate using the same process, that is again should be 1 meter. That means the third wire can be placed left of the point R at a 1 meter or right of the point R at a distance 1 meter. If we are placing the wire, third wire, left of the point R, current should be toward you, that is perpendicular to the plane of the screen and toward you. And if we place the wire, current carrying wire, that is the third wire, in the right of the R, the current should be away from you and wire should be placed at the same distance as the previous one, that is 1 meter. Okay. Now let us move to next illustration. In this illustration we are given long horizontal wire AB, which is free to move in a vertical plane and carries a steady current of I1 equal to 20 ampere. This is I1 equal to 20 ampere in leftward direction. Is in equilibrium at a height x naught equal to 0.01 meter over another parallel long wire CD. This is the wire CD which is kept in fixed position, right? And it carries the steady current I2 equal to 30 ampere, that is in the rightward direction. That means the sense of the current in the wire AB and CD in opposite direction, right? In the question we are further given when AB is slightly depressed. Now this wire, when initially it was in equilibrium position, now it is placed in the downward direction, it execute oscillation, then it is found it perform oscillation. We need to find the period of oscillation of this wire. Okay, so let us move to analysis part of this question. This is the diagram. Okay, we know AB wire will experience two forces. One is the magnetic force because of this current, and we can observe the current sense in the both wire is opposite direction. That means there will be the repulsive force between the wires because of the magnetic field. And this wire is in vertical plane. That means there will be one more force acting on this wire, that is the weight, that is the force of the gravity. So let us make the diagram, free body diagram. This is the wire AB, this is the F magnetic, and this is the F gravity. Okay, and initially this F magnetic should be equal to F gravity because this wire is in equilibrium position. Okay, and we know magnetic force acting on this wire AB per unit length is given by this relation, that is F magnetic equal to mu naught divided by 2 pi I1 I2 divided by x. X is the separation between these two wires at any time. Okay, and x naught at position x naught, this wire is in equilibrium, and we know this force is acting in the upward direction. Okay, and second force acting on this, that is the F gravity. F gravity is nothing but that is the weight. Let m be the mass per unit length of this wire. So gravity force acting on this should be equal to mg, that is the per unit length of this wire, right? So this is the mg, that is the downward direction. We can observe here this mg is independent of the location of this wire AB. but this wire is the distance dependent, that is the separation dependent, that is the depending on x. Okay. Now what happens, initially this wire is in equilibrium and x equal to x naught. So here we can write this force is equal to mg. So we can write mu naught divided by 2 pi I1 I2 divided by x naught equal to mg. Say this equation number 2. Okay. When this wire is slightly depressed, right, slightly pressed in the downward direction, what happens, the separation between the wire will decrease. If this value decreases, then this value will increase. What we are doing, we are pressing this wire in the downward direction, we are decreasing this value. By decreasing this value is increasing. That means upward force is increasing. That means displacement is in the downward direction, but we are getting the force, net force in the upward direction. That means this force is the restoring nature. Okay. So let us differentiate this equation, that is equation number 1 with respect to x. So let us write dF magnetic by dx equal to differentiation of this. In this equation, mu naught divided by 2 pi is constant, I1 I2 is constant. That means we should have the derivative of x to the power minus 1 with respect to x. So let us write the derivative of this. This is the derivative of equation number 1. We can rearrange this equation. We can write this is mu naught I1 I2 divided by 2x and minus sign. Suppose we place minus sign in front of this equation. So we can write equation like this. That is minus mu naught I1 I2 divided by 2 pi x square multiplied by dx. We know at equilibrium, this value mu naught I1 I2 divided by 2 pi x naught equal to mg. That means we can write at equilibrium this value as this one, mu naught, this is equal to mu naught divided by 2 pi I1 I2 divided by x naught square, that is equal to mg divided by x naught. So we have substituted equilibrium value for this one. Now we can observe this force is proportional to displacement, and this force is further, we know this is the restoring nature, right? That means force is proportional to minus of displacement, and this is of restoring of nature. That means this wire is performing simple harmonic motion, right? And if it is performing simple harmonic motion, we can find the time period of oscillation by calculating the acceleration of this wire. So for calculating acceleration, let us divide this equation by mass to get the acceleration. So acceleration of the wire can be written as dFm divided by m, and this is equal to minus g divided by x naught multiplied by dx, right? Now we can compare the equation of SHM, that is the acceleration equation, where we write acceleration is proportional to minus omega square x. So this value should be equal to omega square. Okay. Now we can write omega equal to under root g divided by x naught, right? We can write now omega equal to 2 pi divided by time period, and now we can get the time period t, capital T equal to 2 pi multiplied by under root x naught divided by g. So this is the time period of oscillation of the wire AB. Now we can substitute the value x naught equal to this one, and g value is 10. So this value is equal to pi divided by 5 root 10 second. This is the time period of oscillation of wire AB. Okay.